Hello and welcome to the 14.1 kickoff video for the Geo team. I'm Nick Wynn, Engineering Manager and Acting Product Manager for Geo. I'm excited to walk through a couple of our top priorities for 14.1. The first one is making sure that we follow up from our generally available support for Petroni on Geo secondaries. Just a little bit of context here. In 14.0, Postgres 12 became the minimum required version, and Rep Manager is no longer supported as the solution for managing Postgres clusters on Geo sites. So Petroni is going to be required, and with the introduction of Petroni, we were able to use the Petroni standby cluster functionality to support Postgres clusters on Geo secondaries, something that we weren't able to support before with the version of Rep Manager that we were shipping with Omnibus. So we announced generally available support for that in 14.0, and we just want to be sure to follow up with any high impact improvements in 14.1. Next, we want to continue with our theme of moving our disaster recovery capabilities from viable maturity to complete. One of the big components of this is to increase the amount of data types that Geo verifies. And I'm really proud of the team. We've been making great progress on increasing the amount of data that we verify. In 14.0, we released verification for Terraform state files. We were very close to shipping support for external merge request diffs that barely missed 14.0, and we expect that to be released in 14.1. We're also planning to verify LFS objects in 14.1, which has been a commonly requested feature. And a lot of this is made possible now by the Geo self-service framework that we've been working on and developing over the last year. Things that would before take up to 3 months to add replication and verification support for now can take under a release. So we're really happy to see the velocity that the framework has enabled. Next thing is we want to continue making progress towards secondary mimicry. And what this is making Geo secondary sites, in particular the web UI and the API, behave more like a primary so that we can eventually support a single URL that has primary and secondary behind a load balancer. Right now, if you access the secondary web UI, it's not a great experience. It's read-only, and there's a big message that says it's read-only, and if you want to do anything that would write to the database, such as creating an issue, you'd have to go to a primary. So by doing this work and proxying any write requests from a secondary to the primary, we plan to make this experience a lot better for developers who are using a Geo secondary site. We're also going to be focusing on making the failover experience for multi-node Geo sites a lot more efficient. Right now, you have to manually edit the GitLab RB file and run, if you're on a Postgres node, you have to run GitLab PG CTL promote. You have to run a command to set secondary as primary. And we just want to make it so that you only need a single command that automatically can tell what kind of node you're on, and will update the configuration appropriately and then promote that node to a primary. So we're hoping that this eliminates a lot of the steps needed for administrators of very large Geo installations. And next, if time allows, there are a couple of things we'd like to do with our self-service framework. One is we'd like to replicate pages deployments via the self-service framework. This is another thing that has been commonly requested in the past, but has been prohibitive to actually implement until recently. Recently, the way that pages is managed has been re-architected, and this has made it a lot easier for Geo to add replication support via the self-service framework. And we also want to continue moving existing data types that Geo replicates and verifies to the self-service framework. So in 13.12, we did this for LFS files, and that actually ended up letting us delete a net of 1,000 lines of code. We would like to do this for uploads in the upcoming release and allow uploads to take advantage of the self-service framework's performance and maintainability benefits, as well as making it easier to follow up with verification support. And that does it for the walkthrough of our priorities for 14.1. As always, we work iteratively, and you can stay up to date by following along in our various issues and epics. Thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you next time. Bye.